I'm very excited because today I'm going to my first ever estate sale. Imagine like a garage sale, except you get to go inside the person's house and everything is for sale. And I have always wanted to go to an estate sale, but I just like didn't know how to find them until I came across this, I think it was an Instagram account, and signed up for their email list, and this one popped up and it just so happened to be like kind of close to me. Today's actually day 2 out of 4 of the estate sale, and I know that you have to go the first day to get like the best things. So my expectations are not high, but I feel like it's gonna be fun anyways. You just get to like go inside a random person's house and like see all of their things. Like at the end of the day, if I don't buy anything, at least we get to do that. But turns out this one has actually been pretty popular. I've seen like a lot of my fellow like sellers on Instagram who've already been yesterday. I've seen TikToks. Theoretically, it should be a good one. It's actually been pretty mild here in Toronto lately, but of course I picked the day where it's like freezing today. So I've come prepared. I'm layered up. I have leggings underneath my pants, so we should be warm enough. And I forgot to mention, obviously I'm more on the lookout for vintage clothing, and in the listing there was actually a bunch. It's definitely going to be picked over today, but we're going to see what's left. But I'm also just like open to anything, maybe finding like a cute little dishware or like something like that. I don't know, we'll see, but let's go. Here's my outfit of the day. I didn't want to wear my winter coat. 1, because my winter coat's not cute, and 2, because I'm mainly going to be inside the house, so I don't want to be wearing like a big thick coat that I'm going to be sweating in, so okay, we gotta go. Once I got off my bus, it was super easy to find the estate sale thanks to all of these signs. This one was at Mount Pleasant and Teddington Road, and doesn't that just sound like such a lovely place to live? I mean, you can definitely tell because these were the neighbors across the street. And this was the house. Super adorable. Love the slanted roof that you'll see reflected on the inside of the house as well later. But I made it to the front door and made it inside, and I decided to start in the basement since it was kind of busy on the main floor, so I just headed straight down there. And I was immediately greeted by this shark. I started in the living room portion of the basement with this super cool floral couch, cozy fireplace, lots of rugs, and of course a bunch of knickknacks to look through. They must have been super into photography because there were a bunch of these like bulbs, there were VHSs, cassette tapes, and even records, but nothing that I recognized or was really interested in. There was this beautiful mid-century modern cabinet that I was honestly surprised was still there, especially for only $150. Would have totally got this Scrabble game board if I didn't already have one, and this vintage fan was pretty cool. I was really tempted to get these Babar magnets for our fridge, but it might be a little overboard considering we already have 3 Babar posters in our place, so I left them behind. Okay, this is super random. They have these luggages, and I really need one. And they're only $25, so I might grab this. This was another section of the basement. There were these cool cacti placemats, and then just once again, a ton of knickknacks on this wall. A huge set of plates, and this adorable little teddy nativity scene. There was quite a few teddies throughout this house that you'll continue to see. These vintage magnets were super cute. Like I just said, another teddy bear spotting, and I thought this Pizza Hut magnet was such a relic. They also had these super cool retro posters, but they're honestly pretty pricey. They also had a ton of books. I really wanted to pick one up, but there's just nothing catching my eye, except for this one, A Guide to Viewing Images on the Internet, like so iconic. I don't know how they wrote an entire book on that, but the artwork is so cool. And then I really wanted to buy this vintage skirt hemmer because like this would actually be really useful to me, but it was missing a piece, so yeah, I ended up leaving that behind. This vintage fabric was also super intriguing, but like Lord knows I do not need that much fabric. They had a few clothes in the basement, but it was mostly just children's clothes, like this sweater, adorable, but obviously I don't need it. Next, I decided to go back upstairs where I found myself in the kitchen. This was part of the fun, just going through different doorways and seeing where you end up. But they had a ton of dishes laid out. This little ceramic pear was cute. Same with these Christmas plates. And they had a whole ass pizza oven in their kitchen, which was just so cool. I totally would have gotten these egg cups, but I literally just thrifted some, so put those back. and continued through the rest of the kitchen. Here are some little decorative food candles. Thought this little pie was cute. And just more things in every little nook and cranny. Lots of dog themed stuff as well, but nothing else was like super interesting to me in this room, except look at this big, beautiful window that just overlooked the backyard. Stunning. There were also a bunch of CDs, but like once again, nothing that was piquing my interest. This old record player was super cool, and this carousel horse so reminded me of Twinelle. She would love that, but not for $400. Like, whoa, that's a lot. Also, just look at this beautiful sunroom. Like, just imagine chilling here in like the spring and the summer. So nice. And then finally, I made it into the clothing room where there was just stuff everywhere. There were still actually quite a few vintage tees, but like none of them were good, you know? This was the price list, a little bit pricier than a thrift store in my opinion, but I started looking through one of the racks and nothing was really catching my eye. A lot of basics or more like office kind of wear. Some vintage, but just like really, really basic vintage. And I accidentally caught this little moment on camera.
Where did they get all this crap?
And to put it a little nicer, yeah, there wasn't a ton of great stuff in here. Made it into the actual closet portion of this room. And I think this sweater was really the only thing I was maybe considering buying, but I just like didn't love it enough and just really didn't need it. Same with this root sweater. It was quite cool, but once again, I didn't really need it and it wasn't like wowing me. There was even more clothing in the bathroom. It just felt like it was never ending. And what do you know, another teddy spotting. But the coolest part of the house had to be the upstairs. I mean, look at this bathroom with the funkiest wallpaper and like a bright blue matching sink and tub and even toilet. So cool that the entire upstairs is basically lofted because of that slanted roof. It gives it tons of character. Here's a little close-up of the wallpaper. Here's one of the cute little bedrooms. And then one of my favorite parts was this office area with even more funky wallpaper and this little desk. It even had a door that gave you access to the terrace outside. Like, I was just starting to imagine myself living here. And then there was this kind of like hidden closet in one of the bedrooms that was kind of creepy, but like also so cool. Love this area, just dedicated for shoes. But then you go through another door that takes you to the main closet, which unfortunately did not have any gems. And then I had to look through one last bedroom. I was greeted by this kind of creepy monkey, but this room had even more clothes. At this point, I was honestly too exhausted to look through them and just felt like it wasn't even really worth it considering I hadn't really found a single thing yet, so I just felt like there was nothing here to be found. So with that, I called it a day. It's been a couple days. I was so exhausted when I got home. I don't know if it's because of how tiring it is to just like look through all these things, or it was probably the journey to get there because that was also long. But either way, it's been a couple days. I've had some time to think about my experience and of course show you guys what I ended up getting. So first I just wanted to like recap my experience and my impressions of it, being that this was my first time. Even though in the beginning I did compare this whole thing to a garage sale, I didn't realize just how much it truly did feel like a garage sale. Like, I feel like it was a lot more casual than I was expecting it to be. Like, the people running it just seemed very chill and like open to negotiation. Like, I don't know, it was a lot more informal than what I was expecting. But yeah, the whole experience was just super cool. I feel like I learned so much about the people who live there just through seeing all of their things, all of their belongings. Even though I have no idea what they look like or like who they are, like they definitely love to travel. One of them was like super into photography and like audio stuff. So it's pretty crazy like how much you can learn just by that. Now, I definitely was a little bit disappointed by the clothing selection, which I kind of knew going into it that it was going to be picked over, but yeah, unfortunately there just wasn't anything really good left. It was just a lot of either like a business wear or more like modern day grandma kind of clothing. So that was a little disappointing, but I feel like it was a good way to warm up to it because I overheard the people working there say that apparently day one there was a line outside for 4 hours. So I don't know if I'm willing to wait that long and have to like compete with all those people just to find, you know, a few cool vintage pieces. I want to know what you guys think. Like, do you think that would be worth it? Like, should I try that next time? I mean, probably, because I only walked out of there with one thing, which is pretty telling, but it is something that I really needed, and it is this luggage bag that you guys would have seen in the vlog. After going to Florida and carrying around just like a duffel bag throughout the airport, I was like, okay, I definitely need a bag with wheels. So when I saw these just like in the basement priced at $25, I was like, you know what? I should actually grab one. There were a couple different options, but I like this one because of the color. I really like this army green tone. And then this one just felt a little bit better quality. Like the handle was more sturdy, the zippers are all intact, that kind of thing. So I felt like this was my best bet. Although on my way home, the wheels did start falling apart. You can kind of see here, which I kind of knew in advance. I did examine this before and I noticed there were some cracks in the wheels, so I kind of expected it to happen, but it's not too big of a deal because it's literally just like the outer more like rubbery part of the wheel. So like once that all falls off eventually, the wheel will still be there. It probably just won't be as smooth to roll, but like whatever, it's still gonna be easier than carrying around a duffel bag. But yeah, like this is one of the pieces that came off and I'm just gonna do a little ASMR for you guys. That just crumbled right off, which is definitely something you should be aware of at estate sales because everything is super old, especially rubber and plastic. That tends to just deteriorate over time, so definitely something to keep an eye out for. But I still think it was worth it, especially considering once I was like cashing out, they were only asking for $20 for it, so I think that's totally fair. And yeah, now it's gonna be nice to have an actual luggage when I'm traveling next. But yeah, I'm really glad I ended up going to this one. I think next time it would be really fun to go with like a couple friends and all explore it together. And like I said, try to go day one first thing in the morning. So please let me know if you guys enjoyed this video. Kind of more of like, it's almost like a house tour kind of video, except it's just like a random person's house. I definitely will be going to another estate sale in the future, so let me know if you guys enjoyed this one enough for me to film the next one as well. But yeah, as always, thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you next week.